IVM.
On today's FootballTwaddle, we talk about our Russia travels a little more, but combined with that, we talk about the round of 16 games and also preview the quarterfinals of the amazing World Cup that is going on right now. This is Saru saying hello, and the show starts after this.
So it's been a great week on IVM, and I hope that you're listening to as many shows as you can. If you're not following us on social media, we're on IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. First, I'm going to tell you about a few new shows that we launched. Last week, we launched a show called Marbles Lost and Found with Zain and Avanti. It's a show about mental health, which I think is a fairly interesting conversation to have, and you should enjoy it. We also have a new fictional fun storytelling show for all of our listeners. Croc Tales by Anand Sivakumaran is a bi-weekly show where Anand spins a story from a prompt that could be a word or phrase coming from you. Catch these episodes every Monday and Thursday. On Simplified this week, the trio dig further into the Football World Cup history with some trivia and silly jokes on a longer episode. On The Scene and the Unseen, Amit Verma is joined by stand-up comedians Aditi Mittal and Abbas Momin to talk about the pros and the cons of the Indian comedy scene. On Cyrus Says, Cyrus does an exit interview with his producer Naveen Narona. Naveen's going to be terribly missed around here. If you're not following him, please follow him on Twitter and Instagram. He's at House of Narona. Try and listen to as many of these shows as you can. And now, on to your show.
Hello, welcome to FootballTwaddle. My name is Saru and I have Kumar Khanna with me. What's up, Kumar?
Hello, guys.
Baru is in some sort of Russia post-mortem depression.
Yeah.
And combined with Mumbai rains,
I think all of us are still in that post-Russia mode.
Yes, so we are recording Russia Diaries Part 2 after coming back from Russia, which is like... We just came back a couple of days ago, and things have not been the same after that.
No, I'm still just like, I wake up at 3 in the morning searching for beers. I don't know what is happening.
Yeah, and the whole crowd, the stadium, the atmosphere, once you start watching it on TV, it's like, I can hear after watching the Belgium game when they scored the goal, when the song starts playing in the stadium, I was like, oh, I was there. I remember this song.
And also because, that was the match when Belgium scored 5, so we heard it 5 times.
Exactly.
How does it go?
That is freed by desire.
Freed by desire, yes.
Okay, so now that the World Cup has reached the quarterfinal stage, I think in this episode what we'll do is...
But we'll have to start off with one pertinent question. Saru, is it coming home?
Yes, that is a question we will answer today. And I don't think it is coming home, but we will still answer that question. So we talk about all the round of 16 games combined with what we did in Russia. If you haven't heard Russia Diaries Part 1, you should.
Only the stuff we are allowed to talk about.
Yeah, because that's like proper emotions on that podcast. That was a very emotional podcast. Yeah. And in the second part of today's show, we will talk about the quarterfinals. Some very unusual games. So let's talk about round of 16 and answer your question. Is it coming home? I've already answered it. No, it's not coming home.
No, but after, yesterday's game, when you look at the hype, the English media has gone crazy. It's like, they beat Colombia like 7-0 or something.
But you would go crazy. No, I think what it always seems like suddenly, we always think that, media of Colombia, Iran, or not Japan, but South Korea something, if they go through like round of 16 or to the quarterfinal, you always think like, the media is hyping it up, we are a small country and stuff. That's the same feeling you get with the English media right now.
No, but again, that is, stemming from the fact that this is the first knockout game they've won in any international competition since 2006 when they won the round of 16 in Germany.
Exactly, so it's been 12 years.
Yeah, and also England has finally won a penalty shootout in the World Cup.
Yeah, they have enough reasons to be happy. Actually, seeing the game yesterday, I thought that...
They were bad. There's no other way to put it. Apart from a couple of crosses and that penalty they got, which is, I think Colombia suddenly decided to play WWE instead of football for some time. But yeah, what was going on with that? No shots on target from England after the Kane goal. Colombia was I think around the 80-minute mark, Colombia decided, finally to start playing football.
Yeah,
and they turned up pretty well. They had a lot of chances. How much of a difference James would have made if he was available?
Dude, that's the whole point, right? Without James, they played for like 80 minutes. They didn't play. They kicked for 80 minutes. And they decided to play only for 10. And they had like 2 good chances. They had a great save from Pickford.
What a goal that would have been.
That's probably the most amazing save of this World Cup. And then they had a header.
And again, that save will not get any credit because they scored right after.
No, you will still give credit to the save.
Yeah,
You'll just
it's
like
not.
bad
They didn't even show the replay in the match yesterday because that crazy Yeremina goal.
Yeah. So and after that, in fact, Colombia had enough chances in the extra time to win the game, and they did not. And finally, and again, you look at the amount of luck England have had to
even
win
in the
this
penalty
game.
shootout, Ospina scored saved a penalty first. Which was a pretty bad penalty by Henderson also.
Yes, the Arsenal fans will know why I laugh.
Yeah.
He saved Henderson's penalty, and after that, the Colombian player hit the post.
He was the same player who had, taken that shot.
Yeah, he John Terry'd it.
Yeah. No, he didn't John Terry. It was a margin of like inches.
That is what exactly what John Terry did.
John Terry slipped.
And he still hit the post. It's the same thing. Yeah. Somehow, but England win, and now they go through to the quarterfinal. It's
against Sweden. Which is, again, if you look... Again, we come back to... Before the round of 16, we come back to that one game, England versus Belgium. Where so much was being talked about of, how the loser of that game gets into the easier half of the draw.
Yeah.
Which is what happened.
But if you actually see this World Cup has been so different in terms of the number of smaller teams which are actually giving a huge fight. Even the game which we saw, the Iran versus Spain game, it could have easily been 1-1.
And then, the last round of games for that group
was just insane. And other than the France-Denmark, which Baru and I had the misfortune to see live,
I think Denmark-Croatia was also very, very boring.
Dude, that way, so even the Russia game was quite boring.
No, but Russia was still defending, and they showed a lot of heart.
Yeah, Denmark-Croatia was like Russia playing against Russia.
I was really happy about Russia winning, after all the hospitality we received from them.
Yeah, I was left rooting for Russia. So let's talk about the Russia one. So England's gone through to the quarters. Now in the same...
I think the only difficult team which people were, factoring in for England to face was Spain in the semis.
And then
now Spain is out.
We have Russia versus Spain. But it's not like even Spain had enough chances to score a goal.
Yeah, just 1,100 passes and no penetration into the box. It was like watching Arsenal all over again.
Really now?
Yeah.
Arsenal never had 1,100 passes.
No, but Arsenal again do the same thing. They pass around the box and don't take shots on goal, which is where Spain missed out. If you look
at the most passes, I think Spanish team had, it was like Sergio Ramos or someone and Gerard Piqué.
Yeah.
But they didn't create anything. They were just so bad, Spain.
And that moment of madness from Piqué. I don't know
what was he thinking?
Probably a fan of Daler Mendy.
Yeah, what was he thinking, man? And Russia, I mean, good for them. They got an easy game at the end of it where they did nothing.
And this is also good for the tournament because, if Russia would have been knocked out, I think the atmosphere in Russia for the World Cup would have died down a little. But now since they go into the next round, the entire population is involved. People are dancing on the streets like we saw.
Yeah.
So that will continue for another 4-5 days, which is good for the tournament as well, and all the fans who are traveling.
Yeah, and
nobody wants to face an angry Russian mob.
Oh, dude, no. And all the guys listening in should know that irrespective of what match happens in the stadium, there is a period of like 5 minutes during a game where the entire stadium just goes on screaming Russia for no reason. And it's insane. In fact, we saw it on the streets as well.
Yeah.
And that night, I'm telling you, when they beat Spain.
Yeah, that is one night I wish I was there in Moscow and not come back. Because the atmosphere would have been crazy. Yeah.
What about yesterday? What about day before?
I mean, if it was up to me, I would watch the entire thing. But that one particular night.
Yeah.
Because you remember we saw when they beat Egypt in that small rundown cafe with only Russians around.
So that was crazy. The Russians, they're insane Russians.
Yeah, I mean, Vlad.
Vlad is a friend.
Okay, moving on. So Russia's through. Russia faced Croatia, which is...
Talking a little bit about Spain. How bad has this whole World Cup been for Spain? Right from... It starts with Real Madrid. Why are they the root of every problem in the Spanish national team?
But, would that have made any difference? I don't know.
Yes, it would have. Hierro is not really a good coach.
He's not, but, the players know how to play. What is Hierro going to change?
Dude, what do you mean players know how to play? Then what's the job of a manager?
No, but Lopetegui has trained them till like a week before the World Cup. Right?
During the game you make changes. During like the training changes you make. The tactics changes you make for the next game.
I think Spain was just horrible and they're just gonna lay all the blame on Real Madrid now.
Yeah, you should. I mean, for disrupting the entire thing.
But even if they signed, how was it disrupting? It was the national team's, decision to sack him.
But they should know. They should sack. How can we just have this discussion?
No, we
last,
did, but again,
last episode.
there is still a difference of opinion. Clearly,
God, we can't obviously resolve it. Anyway, Russia is now through, and there could be, if everything goes to plan according to the Russians, they will have an opportunity to beat up the English.
Yeah, I hope
and
that
the English fans in the semi-final.
But again, there were no English fans. Even yesterday, the stadium was full of Colombians.
So did you hear the English fans? They're like abusing the English media. They're like, you guys have hyped it up so much of this hooliganism and everything. You scared us English fans, and look what we're facing now. We're facing 40,000 Colombians in the stadium.
But which is
How
true.
do we even compete?
Because there is no hooliganism. Russia was very, very polite, very nice. The people were very, very friendly.
Yes, every Russian who's hugged me only spoke to me about India as Goa. I'm like, okay.
And Mithun.
and Mithun. And every random stranger thought that I could be a Bangladeshi. But yeah, apart from that, they were really nice people.
No, but then Russia have to go through Croatia.
Yeah, so
Croatia, really have not been in form apart from that one game when they took apart Argentina.
Yes. So Croatia played Denmark.
Yeah. Nobody remembers that game.
That was such a boring game.
Yeah.
Like, they did nothing. And the only thing was like Luka Modric misses a
penalty in extra time.
Oh, did you see Peter Schmeichel like celebrate whenever Kasper like saved?
Yeah, so there's this
penalty.
thing again which was coming out that Kasper Schmeichel was Peter Schmeichel's son, but now Peter Schmeichel has become Kasper Schmeichel's dad.
Yeah, about time, don't you think?
Yeah, no, but he put in a great performance that day. But yeah, Denmark didn't deserve to go through.
He won the Man of the Match award even that game.
Denmark didn't deserve to go through, so that's fine.
Is it because Croatian keeper's name is Subasic?
Subasic Bose, yes. India represent.
And talking about that same group, we
again a very boring match.
The Sweden versus Switzerland. No, that was all right. That was not as boring.
No, but when you compare it to the 6 other matches in the group stages,
the most boring obviously was the Croatia-Denmark game,
and second was Switzerland and Sweden.
So Sweden, like quickly to talk about it.
I think England is going to beat Sweden and go to the semi-finals and get beaten by Croatia.
No. It's not coming home, alright?
No, I know it's not coming home, but they're reaching the semis, dude.
No, they're not.
They're getting knocked out by
Emil
Croatia.
Forsberg is going to score a hat-trick.
When was the last time Emil Forsberg scored?
I don't think he's ever scored a hat-trick, but...
It's been, I think, 18 games since he scored for Sweden.
He just scored last game. What do you mean?
No, that was a deflection. That was...
Since it was a shot on goal, the goal's been given to Emil Forsberg.
That's just a technicality.
That's all we live on. So, that's about it. We take a break.
Yeah.
We take a break right now. We talk about other round of 16 games.
We move on to the other half, which is
other half of
the
round
fun
of
half
16. And then we talk about the quarterfinals. Stay tuned to FootballTwaddle.
Long, long ago, not in Bethlehem, but in a place nearby, there was a wonderful birth of a huge show, which I like to call Cyrus Says. A show that encapsulates everything in human history, from the first Homo sapien to the last Homo sapien, who's traversed the entire world and then come back to India. This is a show which tells you everything about everything. If you want to know, avoid Google, come to us. It's called Cyrus Says. Get new episodes every Monday and Thursday on the IVM Podcast app, website, or wherever you get your podcasts from. It's simple as A, B, oh God, what comes after that?
Welcome back to FootballTwaddle. I have Kumar Khanna with me, and both of us are feeling Russia blues still.
Yeah.
But we need to talk about
Russia Reds.
Russia Reds.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to talk about France 4, Argentina 3.
That was such a fun game, partly because, it was on a month end and I had just skipped out of my work to watch that game.
Really?
It was on the 30th.
Oh, okay.
7:30 p.m. India time.
I actually didn't expect the game to be any good, man, honestly.
Yeah,
having seen France live, having seen France recorded, having seen France on TV, they were just shit throughout.
It was going to be a drab 1-0 win for France.
Yeah.
But our man turned up. He was the one, we had predicted to be the one to watch out for.
Yes.
Kylian Mbappe.
Mbappe, what a run, that guy. What's with the space? How stupid were Argentina to give so much space to Mbappe?
No,
What's with the high line?
With such an old aging defense, they were playing a high line. We noticed that in the Croatia game also when we were watching.
Yeah.
It was suicide on part of Argentina and Sampaoli.
Oh, poor things, man. But Messi...
No, but again, so my point is that, with such a mismatch in resources, still Argentina managed to score 3 goals, which is not a good sign for France.
Yeah.
And Messi had that one shot where he just lost balance at the last time.
Otherwise, it could have been
4-all, yeah.
But okay, let's talk about a few things here. One is Mbappe. What's with that guy?
He's finally we found the new Henry. I'm very sure on this now.
Really now? Already we're naming him new Henry.
Yeah, we did that with Martial. Why not Mbappe?
Yeah, and look how that turned out.
Yeah, but this guy is an exceptional talent. We have to.
He is probably the exceptional talent.
Yeah.
In the world right now, right, Mbappe.
Yes.
And what about the goals first and Di Maria's goal?
Oh, that was such a piece of beauty, man.
And if we thought
Di Maria was pretty bad the entire game, apart from that one moment of brilliance from him.
Yeah, but that was more than enough to make it 1-1, and then Argentina takes a lead, and out of nowhere, Mr. Pavon.
Oh, I think that is right now because Pickford saved that goal yesterday. So still Pavon is the best goal of the tournament.
Best goal of the World Cup. I actually saw on Twitter, I think someone on Twitter had written that, when Wakar Yunus and Wasim Akram did this with the cricket ball, you guys called it tampering.
No, because there was perfect curve. There was a dip as well as a curve. Yeah, it's so difficult to do. It's difficult enough to shin it, like to hit it like a rocket from that angle, and he managed to get a proper curl on it.
And you can't even blame anyone in Argentine team for that. And from then on, France basically took over.
But that was again because Argentina still continued playing a high line, giving Mbappe space to run behind, and Giroud can kill you with those one-touch flicks on.
Yeah. Oh, but there were some occasions in the game where Giroud, like Mbappe, just ran, and then he was looking at Giroud,
and Giroud was like trundling around, trying to keep up.
He couldn't even run. We actually saw Giroud like warm up during the Denmark. His warm up is as fast as how much he runs on the pitch. That was like crazy.
Yeah, that's not
But
his
anyway,
strength.
so France, if they do well, we should talk about Uruguay, who quite easily beat Portugal.
Yeah, and I think Ronaldo never turned up for that game.
Forget Ronaldo not turning up. There's only one guy who turned up, which is Cavani. The whole goal, when Cavani passes to Suarez and Suarez gives it back to Cavani and the header, that was fantastic.
I think Uruguay is the only team which is playing with 2 proper strikers who can individually hold the team together.
Yeah.
And then both of them together, it's killing it, man.
How critical would... Cavani is injured. I don't know if he's going to be fit
he
enough.
Should be fit.
But if he's not, that is going to be really critical for Uruguay.
Again, Uruguay has the meanest defense. They've never conceded a single goal, right?
Who, Uruguay?
Yeah.
They have now against Portugal.
Yeah, but that was inconsequential anyway.
No, it was not inconsequential. It was for 1-1. So they have conceded a goal, but then they are so good because of Diego Godin.
I know.
So that's amazing. We need to talk, before we talk about the Belgium-Japan game.
Oh, let's talk about
Brazil and Mexico. Because we have a very soft spot.
Yeah, we have some special love in our hearts for the Mexicans.
But then those guys deserve to lose that game.
But what a support, man. Sometimes it felt like, we were in Mexico City, not Moscow.
Yeah,
because there were Mexican fans everywhere. We spoke about it in the first part of this episode also.
Yeah, but if you actually look at it now, the last few days when we were in Russia and Moscow, the Brazilians basically came down in full force. They had almost taken over the city. And Brazil winning 2-0. I
think it was an easy game for them, apart from the fact that, Neymar...
Apart from the first 20 minutes where Mexico actually tried to do something. But then Neymar, man, what a talent. Like, he can create so much and he can,
And then he wastes his energy doing all of this, theatrics on the pitch.
Yeah.
Is it justified? Even when, he was stamped on when he was,
But why is that? That was a red card offence.
It was a red card offence, but his reaction was what convinced the referee not to go for a red card. That is...
No, they went to VAR for that.
No, they didn't.
They did.
No. He consulted him, but he didn't go to the screen. Yeah.
So the whole thing, they asked Neymar, ki, like a lot of people are just saying that you dive and you do theatrics. Neymar gave an answer, which is basically that.
They hate me.
They hate me, that's why they do it. And he says, I'll do
You
what...
They hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't...
think he's inspired by the interview.
And the whole Brazil team, everyone basically... They all, it looks like they just work for Neymar.
Yeah, and that is, I think that is right also, because Jesus is doing so well, creating space for Neymar. I think there was an article yesterday about his contribution. So he's getting a lot of criticism for not scoring.
Who, Neymar?
No.
Jesus.
But then Jesus has been, creating a lot of space for Neymar to operate in, basically. He's been pulling defenders around.
Yeah, I mean, Neymar and Coutinho basically have turned up for almost every game. And they're doing so well. Brazil looks so strong.
And they look very strong defensively, which is a big strength for...
They had no Marcelo, so they look stronger defensively now.
Yeah, but I think Marcelo is coming back as soon as he's fit. From his injury, you know what injured him?
The bed.
The bed in his hotel.
I didn't read more into it. I just saw the headline. What was it?
Just that the mattress in his...
What? Our man had bed bugs and that was what prevented him from beginning.
Not bed bugs, just the whole... What do you call it, man?
The coir.
The coir, yes.
the mat.
He should have used Neil Kamal mattresses.
What are you saying? Because of that he got injured?
Yeah, he got a back injury because the ergonomics were not correct for his bed. Things happen.
I hope our podcast seats on which we sit are ergonomically right.
Yeah, I don't want to be injured, man.
I know. Look at this Gaurav staring at us. Like, you guys have no idea.
No, but again, Thiago Silva has been fit, he's been playing well.
Everyone, Brazil looks like such a solid unit.
And they are up against another solid unit.
They're playing Belgium.
And why they're almost out of the
Why they play Belgium is because... I was like...
You called me up in the middle of the night.
I did. Not in the middle of the night. I called you up exactly when Fellaini scored. Because I don't know why you guys abuse Fellaini. That man knows what he's doing and he always delivers. You can't even deny that. That Fellaini always delivers.
He does. Even for United he does.
For Everton he did. For United he does.
For Everton he was a class apart.
Exactly.
But now, it was his substitution basically, like we were discussing, which changed the game.
Yeah.
Japan had turned up, and how? The first goal you can still understand, but I think the second one just stunned everyone in the stadium and people, like even when we were watching.
Yeah, it was... Who expected Japan? Like really Japan to go through? We were just hoping and praying Japan probably would go through is because, they're like an Asian team and those supporters are nice.
I never got that.
They clean up their dressing room and all of that.
Fine.
Yeah, but that's what you support for.
Get more Japanese as match stewards then. Not give them a spot in the quarterfinals.
They are hosting the Olympics. But so they almost beat, and then Martinez brings in Nasser Chadli and Fellaini, the two unlikely people who converted.
One person who was out of a contract at the end of the season and the other one got relegated, basically, in the Premier League.
Fellaini, it's been a good week for Fellaini.
Yeah, he signed a new contract.
New contract with Man U. Now he scored a goal and everyone suddenly like, oh, he's probably not that bad a player. But we need to talk about the last Belgium goal.
I think a lack of big match understanding from Japan probably.
That's probably, but you need to execute that perfectly to score that goal. Right from Courtois throwing the ball to De Bruyne.
Yeah.
And did you look at Lukaku's run?
I think Lukaku is the one who creates that goal basically.
Yeah.
Because he tracked the defender away from Munier. Munier got the ball. And again, if it was Harry Kane in place of Lukaku, when that cross comes in, he's taking a shot.
Yeah, Lukaku, the presence of mind in that moment.
Yeah, just play that dummy and playing Chadli unmarked at the far post. Because Kane, I think Aguero also would have taken a shot on from there.
Yes.
And it was a very bad angle with, a defender right on, on your shoes.
Dude, but that goal was something. It was crazy beautiful, and somehow Belgium
are through to the
quarters. So talking about the quarterfinals, which happen on Friday and Saturday. So let's go through the first ones, which is Uruguay-France.
I think it's going to be very close. 1-0 France.
1-0 France?
Yes.
If Cavani is fit, then?
Even then 1-0 France.
Alright, are you noting this down stuff, dude? We need to like check Kumar Kanav on his...
What is your... You never give predictions.
Fine, I'll give a prediction.
Yeah.
2-1 Uruguay.
2-1. Who's going to score 2 goals for Uruguay?
Suarez.
Suarez is not going to score.
But let's see, no.
Yeah,
You
okay.
said 1-0 France. I've even given goal scorers' names.
Okay.
So 2-1 Uruguay. Brazil, Belgium.
I want Belgium to win, but I think Brazil 2-1.
Really?
Yeah.
Belgium 4, Brazil 2.
You're going with some right field choices here.
By the way,
Yeah.
I was the one who guessed Belgium, Tunisia 5-1.
You said 5-1, it ended 5-2. So
Wow. So at least I can get my goal count right almost.
yeah, I think that was you were there on some Russian channel giving out that prediction to a shocked presenter.
She was like, what, really? We're going to score 5. I'm like, of course you're going to score 5. She's like, can I take a picture with you? Yeah, so Belgium is going to win 4-2.
Nah, Brazil.
Okay, and the other quarterfinals, which is the home team, Russia.
I think 2-0 Croatia.
2-0 Croatia. So Russia, I think so. 2-0 or 3-0 Croatia. I think Russia's done. Unless, this I forgot to talk about. Spain's 118th minute, the VAR decision.
That was a penalty. Let's be very honest.
But Putin didn't think so.
Obviously.
And that's what that matters.
And if Putin thinks so,
And
then
it
the
was,
referee has to agree.
Yes, penalty wasn't given. And that's how Russia win. But I don't think such miracles are going to happen again.
Again, yeah.
So Croatia to win. I think that thing we both will agree.
Yeah.
And the last quarterfinal is Sweden versus England.
I think 1-0 England, Harry Kane penalty.
God.
I'm going to go very accurate about it because I know England cannot score from the open play. And they are, whether you call it street smart or whatever, but, we talk about Colombia being, very bad yesterday, but England was play acting as well. Wasting time, diving around.
Forget play acting. Ashley Young stamped the Colombian players as well.
So there was a stamp. There were 2 dives in the penalty box by Sterling and Harry Maguire. And there was time wasting by Dele Alli when he was subbed off at the 90th minute.
So
I think they'll get a penalty and Harry Kane is not going to miss. So
Harry Kane is the leading scorer of this World Cup
and he scored
6 goals.
Scored 4 penalties and 2 headers.
No, I think 3 penalties, 1 missed kick and 2 headers. But doesn't matter. He's the top scorer. The odds of him becoming the top scorer of the World Cup were about 16-1 or 6-1, something like that.
16-1, yeah.
So if he does that...
But I called it in the Panama game that Harry Kane is going to win the Golden Boot.
Dude, after Panama game,
before the Panama game.
It's because you saw Panama's ranking and how they play.
Have you seen Russia's ranking?
They're playing well.
Yeah. No, but what is your prediction? You're backing Sweden, right?
Yes.
Nah.
Of course I'm backing Sweden.
Why? Why, of course?
Because I don't want England to win.
Is your name Saru-san?
Saru-san? No, I'm not Icelandic.
No, even Swedes are.
Forsberg is not like son.
Larsson.
Ibrahimovic.
Son.
It's a diverse country. Let's just put it at that.
Yeah.
So, according to you, England versus Croatia semi-final.
And France versus Brazil.
And I think Belgium versus Uruguay. And Croatia versus Sweden. So, other than
I've noted that down, yeah. Let's get back in the next episode and see how accurate we are.
Anyway, this is hoping that England don't win.
I don't want England to win,
but
because
your mind says they
my
will.
brain says,
yeah, I think they'll lose. My heart and mind is set on it.
Yeah.
And on that note, Kana, here comes to end to our Russia's Diaries Part 2. Now Russia is now in our memories.
Yeah. And
there's nothing more to
such fun memories.
Yes. And we will come
and
back.
we're back to the grind in Bombay.
Oh God, the rains. Oh, it's like I come to Bombay, they're like bridges fallen, people are dying. You're like, oh no way. This is just so bad.
And the alcohol is expensive again.
Yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, so anyway, Kana, bye-bye. See you after the quarterfinals and we will go through all our predictions, what went right and wrong.
Yeah.
And preview the semi-finals then.
Have a fun week, guys.
And you guys can follow us on Twitter @FootballTwaddle. Facebook and Instagram is FootballTwaddle. Please rate us on iTunes. That helps us quite a lot. And this is Saru signing off FootballTwaddle's episode. Bye-bye.
As you can see, we have a podcast listener in his natural habitat. Millions of years of evolution have led him to this point. He's on his way to work, and listening to podcasts makes his miserable day better. He will now head to work and use all his knowledge to communicate with other colleagues and possibly future mates. You can find more of his species on ivmpodcasts.com, your one-stop destination where you can check out all the coolest Indian podcasts. Happy listening.